What is up, everyone? It's going to be my Master Yi jungle video, and I'm going to show you everything you need to know on how to play the most broken jungler on the patch. So Master Yi is really broken right now. He just got buffed the patch before, and the buffs made him the best jungler in the patch, so he's really OP. We're going to be running the press to attack rune page with reboots. I really like this. I think it's the best, in my opinion. Also for build, Blade of the Rune King is the first item rush that you pretty much always have to rush. Second item is more flexible. I think Kraken Slayer is really good. With the third, fourth item, you know, DD, Wits End kind of build path with the Rage Blade, possibly as a third item. But most importantly, just go Blade first, and you're going to be chilling from there. So here, when you're playing Yi, you just want to make sure you're playing kind of, you know, safe early game. You don't want to do anything too crazy. You should be happy that, you know, if you can get away with not kind of falling behind early game, you're in a really good spot to carry. They might end up nerfing him in the future, but as it is right now, he is very broken. And there's a few mechanics that you want to kind of understand. A big one, I would say, is auto attack resets, especially on his W. That's like a huge mechanic that it may feel awkward at first, but it's something you can definitely improve on. If you want to get better at it, you can easily improve in that area. So here we're going to do 3 camps, and I'm going to just look around the map and just kind of evaluate if I see anything worth my time. But generally, you don't want to die. Here I'm going to wait a bit before I E, just to make sure that my Q cooldown is going to be down. And that's really important because your damage, a lot of your damage is actually from just applying true damage from your E. That's something they ended up nerfing before, but it's still extremely important to make sure you utilize that. So I'm against the Lilia here. I think Lilia will just end up full clearing, so I'm not really scared of that. So I just assume that she's full clearing like me. And I have to decide on whether do I want to gank a lane earlier before her, or do I just not care at all? So that's stuff that I like to try to, you know, think about when I'm playing jungle. And here I think I'm fine with just farming, so I'm not really going to do anything. Not yet, that is. I think I can full clear, and we might be able to meet around the same time. And that'll be really nice. So here I'm going to kite between the camps. I'm going to save my E. Save my Q till my E is up, and then I'm going to use it right after. So you have press to attack, so you always want to make sure we proc it. It does amplify your true damage as well. I am a bit slower than this Lilia because she went for a level 3 gank. But it's something we can definitely clean up afterwards. And really good kill by Ash, really good play in general for us. Lilia opted to go for a level 3 play. I waited for level 4. Personally, I think if your clear is fast enough like Yi was in that example, I think you just go for the level 4. Lilia made a mistake by going for the earlier play because my lane is in a more dominant position. I don't worry as much about being there early and stuff like that. So you can always kind of play around that. So here I want to base. I just want to finish the crab off. And then I'm going to look to reset. And remember what we talked about in a lot of our videos. Wherever you start is where you want to go back to. So if I want to be back here because this camp will spawn. It will always respawn around, you know, 4 minutes timer. So here, you can buy whatever base. I like pickaxe. So I'm going to the blade. I like pickaxe. Then I go into the recurve bow. And then vamp scepter last item. So that's the order. You kind of want to prioritize stats, for example. And if I'm going back to the top side at where I started, where does Lilia want to go? Well, she wants to go back to where she started, which is her top side. So she's in this area. So I just want to kind of keep that in my mind. So here I'm going to E, Q, auto attack, and then W reset. And that's something you can practice as you're jungling. And that's a general, well, that's just the combo that you need to get better at. So you always want to kind of practice it while you're farming. Obviously, your W gives you the damage reduction. So in some situations, you might just hold it to kind of reduce damage. And that's something you can do with tower shots as well. But you kind of want to, here I'm going to hit this just to see the crab and all the timers on the map. But if you're trying to kill someone and you're trying to burst them down, that's where the W as an auto attack reset is going to be more effective. So just remember that. If you're trying to kill them fast, if you're in an advantageous situation, we use W as an auto attack reset, which is a very powerful tool. So here I think Lux is not really going to help me in this situation. So I see Lilia topside. What do we do if we see Lilia topside? 2 options here. Here I can invade and get jungle camps, but I say that's not that much value. So what I'm going to do is actually start Dragon. Since I already have a buy, Dragon's actually very simple and easy for me to do. And it's not going to take all that much. And it's just going to be a good objective for me to just kind of get out of the way because my ball lane is winning. What do you want to do if your ball lane is winning? You want to continue getting the objectives on that side. So here's easy objective, right? You see how fast we're able to do. Ryze is contesting, but that's not a big deal. Here I just pink it to spook him off. You know, this is my jungle. Get the dragon, get the game in a really nice, delicate position for us to dominate with. And here, you have to understand when you play Yi, you're not forcing plays. You're not forcing ganks, because what do I bring to a gank? Can I lock someone down? Absolutely not. I don't have CC. My ganks revolve around the enemy making mistakes, right? Or my teammates setting me up. That's what I really, am going to strive for. So here we see Lilia actually on the Void Grubs. She opted in for the Void Grubs. If someone does something like that, well, that just opens up a window for me to go invade and double down on bot side. What you notice is I'm not going to actually go into... Like, I'm not going to try to contest Void Grubs because it's never good to cross and try to split, the side of the map. A much better play would be what I'm about to do right now, which is just to take, one side of the camp. Check the, whoever's trying to defend bot tower. I'll just play it kind of like this, a very safe game. I don't really want to dive Senna, because I just think it's a risky play, because we don't have a big wave yet. But I do like the idea of maybe killing the Kalista on the return. So maybe a dive will come, but it's going to take some time. So here I think a dive is actually good. So this is where I think a dive can work. I just need Braum to tag. And then it's just a very free kill. Ash. And I actually think we can dive again because Kalista shows... Kalista's actually topside, so we just grab our plate and then go farm. I really want to get the crab because obviously the crab is up. And from here you have to decide, do I... you have to be careful about this area. Whenever you show bot, whenever you show that you took dragon, you show you're going to die bot, you have to understand that the other jungler knows all this information, right? Like, the other jungler is, like, watching you do this. And they're not thinking, like, oh, I guess I'll just let it all happen. Sometimes they're thinking, maybe I can walk in and take his top side, right? So you have to always sort of plan around these things. And here I can either, say, okay, I think Lilia took all my top side. I don't think me going there is worth it. Or you could say, okay, I think she might have not took everything. Maybe she took too long to do Void Grubs that I can just counter it. So you just have to think about that. So here I check what's up. Well, red's up, so that's good. Get that kill, very easy. Gonna keep the chase going, right? Should have smited. That was my mistake. We make mistakes. We're only human. Here I'm going to charge up my passive and then try to look to one-shot the Lilia here. We're only human. Lilia's on the red, but I think she's greedy. So I might swing around here, see if I can dip my toes in some water. Looks like she just finished that. Could be warded 50-50. I'm going to meditate a bit. Think about my next decision. Think about what I want to do next. That's a big thing. Take a second to meditate, to really think about it. I think not happening. Maybe Senna walks this way and then I can swipe her. Maybe not happening too. Meditate again. Really think about my decision here. Really think about it. Okay, I don't think there's a play, so I'm just going to farm bot side. There, the press attack's really nice, obviously. Using your attacks, your auto attack resets, you can easily proc it. A really big thing here. EQ, auto W. And chasing people down, really good. Press attack, really good combo. I think he's a really good champion now. I actually like it more now that he's less about his E true damage as much as like before. And he's more about just raw stats that he has. This sort of advantages on people. So I think he's much better than he was before. And I think he's slightly easier to execute on because he's not so, all damage tied towards E. They may nerf him in the future, but I think he's a great champion to pick up if you enjoy just whipping people down. Got Giga Alpha that year. So here I wanted my Blade Vibe. If I don't have enough for it, then I don't really want to base. I don't advise on you to kill people. Like, I don't advise people to just do stupid things when you're playing. I just think don't really need you to do anything too crazy. Like, I like telling people, be okay with nothing happening, right? Like, you should be comfortable with just not forcing any plays. You should be doing plays that are good for you, that you really like. So here I think Lilia will come here, but I think I am in an advantage situation now. So I'm going to try to snipe one out. Okay, maybe that was a bit risky. Damn, I thought I was actually going to get in a good position there. Or maybe I should have just ran that Lilia down like the little rat that she was. Alright. Don't do anything risky. Be a really low risk player. Just flips Herald. Flicks Void. You really don't have to do that kind of stuff. Obviously, I really didn't expect Senna to perma stay here, but what am I saying? They give up ball in. Nobody wants to go bot side. Also, Ashe, you know you could one. Okay. Yeah. Geniuses in human clothing. Geniuses, indeed. I don't have R up, so this play is not as good without R. Lilia still has passive stacks, so it's always a problem. See how I meditated? You see that? You see how I meditated the burst that comes in when Ryze's about to Q me, when Lilia's about to hit her W on me. That's when I meditate, right? Meditate the burst. You don't want to just stand there and just like meditate, right? Like that's not good. That's usually bad. You want to meditate a bit to get the most out of it with an auto attack reset, but also just block out that really high amount of damage that you need to really think about. And that's that play without R, right? Like you can see how powerful I am. Like I'm really powerful right now. And I actually like Kraken. Some people may disagree, but I think Kraken's good here. So I'll probably go into Kraken Slayer second, maybe Rage Blade third. If no Rage Blade, you can go Witsan, DD, depending on the game. And honestly, it's really broken. Like if you do this build with these runes setup, you play with my mentality. I'm telling you, Christmas is coming early today. Here, this game is obviously going really well. What have I done this game to continue the success of my team? Well, I continue playing bot side. I gave up the extra tamps to top side that I thought, you know, really weren't that important for me. I played towards trying to get, you know, Lilia's bot side camp so I don't fall too far behind. I obviously got dragons early. Like whenever dragon was up with my ball lane in lane, it's, you know, it's bad not to just get it. So those are like the key things I want you to really highlight. Obviously, I played fights really well. A lot around, you know, how... You know, a lot around just my champion being in good positions, but also having really good angles. Here, I'm setting up a trap. I call this the Yi Meditate Trap. Sometimes you can channel W to really build up the meditation power of the spell. For example, I see Lilia come in. I charge up my Meditate. It charges the double strike. And then you could just kind of pop out. Really simple stuff here, lads. Really simple stuff. I don't have desire to go here. I'm just kind of messing around a bit. I fear nothing. Fear nothing. You just meditate. Think about your decision, right? Just think about it. That's what meditate is for, right? And here I'm just going to go back to farming. A really good play. Set up a little trap. Those are like your general mechanics. W attack reset. Use E before Qing. Your Q applies your true damage on E. Your Q applies the on-hit effects to a certain point. Really important though, having your E up. Your E is pretty much everything on this champ. Sometimes you see me farming, I'm like saving my E. It's mostly because of that exactly, right? Like I do not want to be... If I don't have E up, my damage is nil. But if I don't have R up, I still can kill, right? Like it's... You gotta think about these things. Here I'm gonna do the Herald. I'm trying to use my Q direction. And also remember, your direction is really important. You want to put yourself with your Q. You can choose the direction. So if I right click, wherever I want to go is where I need to pick. And I have to pick the right spots. The right spots are important. When you're chasing someone who's running away, I want to make sure my Q ends up behind them. Those are big things. Really important though is choosing a direction. You're really all about auto pathing, right? You want to path your champion really well and just play around that as much as possible. So here my Lao is doing good. So I'm just like sort of in the area. I would say I would be an enabler. But yeah, I hope you guys liked that video. That was my Master Yi jungle. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I think Master Yi is really broken. I think you're going to have a good time playing him.